Podcast Bombad.
Welcome to the Bombadcast.
What is up, Bombad family? It is me, Jerry, the Canon junkie. I am here on a lovely, lovely Bombad Friday with my boy, the one and only. We got one and only club is like really lacking like a t-shirt.
We need that shirt.
We're
Yes.
t-shirt crazy.
What?
We are t-shirt crazy. We haven't created that one. But my boy, Scotty Trevorrow, how you doing, buddy?
You know what? It's so funny. I think I'm great, actually. I'm doing pretty good.
Excellent.
But just thinking about our introductions, it's like, I hope by now the listeners are like, okay, that's Jerry. He sounds like the Ewok. And this is Scotty. He always sounds confused. Perfect. Okay. Because every time we introduce, we're always like, this is like, they're like, wait, which one is it? I just think that's who's gonna talk first. But yeah, no, I'm great, dude. I'm doing pretty good. These new shirts have been really amazing. I actually just got mine in. I don't know if you saw the pictures.
I got my my Wonderful Weirdos design in too. Like
Me too.
I think we are the sole customers of the Bombad store sometimes.
Well,
but
it's fun to have your own merch, and you know what? Funny enough, like it just people have always. That's not the correct phrase, but people have recently stopped me and been like, wait, are you wearing your own shirt? And I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
I'm
because it's rad
for myself. Yeah. It's Bombad, bro.
It's Bombad, man. Bomb rad.
Well,
I don't know. Yeah.
I love the Bombad Weirdos one. And like, I was thinking, I was putting it on, like, what am I going to wear this with? But it matches the blue of my members only jacket from our logo.
Dude,
so perfect.
I think that's like my big inspiration too on Bombad Blue. Like,
yeah.
Just kind of like put it, I mean, it goes with our logos and all that kind of stuff and font and whatever. But like just that blue members only jacket, that teal.
Yes.
It's like a teal, sky blue. I could spot Scotty in the middle of a crowd of Star Wars fans and stuff with that. I mean, he stands out in a crowd. You know, Wookiees stand out in a crowd anyway. So I don't know. Yeah.
Yes. Oh,
maybe I give you Wookiee. I don't know. Yeah.
Well, how about this, G? This is not a joke. Kate and I have talked about it. I thought about surprising you at some point with a members only jacket. Would that be something you'd want? So we can both rep some members only jackets in celebration.
Dude, like have them like nice with like a patch of our logo on the back or something.
Here we
like
go.
Road crew or something.
Man.
We got to get them for like John and like all our crews possibly coming with us and stuff. So dude, that's well. See, now you're saying it on the podcast, so it you can edit it out, but you know.
No.
Yeah. We got to see what
the fans are going to expect it. Oh.
Dude, you guys, seriously, celebration is going to be here before we know it. It's already like the snow is melting outside of my house right now. It's February, but that's probably just melting ice caps and all. So
global warming, if you will.
Anyway.
Speaking of global warming,
we're about to encroach on some crazy territory here if we're not careful.
No. I love you.
I love you too. You can edit this out if you want. I know, like we have a lot of awkward pauses now, more than we've had in a while. That's awesome.
I like it.
It's all the love. It's all the love. It's almost like watching The Office, but not watching. You're like just listening, and so you're sitting
waiting
there with bated breath, like waiting. Like, who's going to say something? Who's going to break the silence?
What is going on between these two?
What is going on?
It's been quite the week for a Bombadcast. We put out our most recent episode dealing with Sheev and his wonderful past choices and
escapades.
Escapades is the best word for it. And I hope y'all liked all the pictures Jerry's been putting out and the video I put out about the Salt and Pepper song. Let's talk about
Beautiful.
Sheev. Yeah, it's that last episode, y'all. I hope y'all really enjoyed it. It was so much fun making. It was super, super goofy, and that was actually all of Jerry's idea, and we really took it and ran with it for some marketing. And
I'm the twisted sense of humor, so
well,
or the twisted
How
individual.
I Met Your Mother. Oh yeah, well the one thing I like was the photos you were compiling with Masamita.
I was just like, I've got these like PNGs of Palpatine, and I found one of Masamita because like we had talked about him being like his wingman and stuff. So I was like, dude, I gotta like get some of these put out there. Plus, you really inspired me with your Sheev's special room pictures.
Yeah.
that you posted. So
Yes.
yeah.
Well, yeah, and
but Scotty, by the time
What?
you're listening to this, you guys will have already seen. I think our brand new. You guys know we've gone merch crazy this year, and we have more new shirts. We have we at least have a new shirt that has dropped in honor of our weird, crazy Palpatine sexisode episode. Am I supposed to say the word sex? Oh, well, I don't know. But we have a Palpatine. Not Palpatine. We have a Coruscant Air Taxi Confessions with Sheev shirt now available on the Bombadcast swag store on TeePublic. So go check it out. Go buy the heck out of it. I'm really proud of it. It's got like something on the back. It's got the Bombadcast our logo, or like our one of our like logo things like in between the shoulder blades. So I'm very proud of learning how to put something on the back of a shirt. So thank you.
Pretty cool.
Thank you very much.
And we do plan on releasing some more stuff, possibly dealing with that episode. I have an idea for a shirt of it's going to be Sheev in his I guess his prom outfit, or I guess his Revenge of the Sith prom outfit. And it's got Rod Stewart's face because we brought up Rod Stewart and Sheev's fertility. So
I gotta get a Prom Night Palpatine shirt because I just Prom Night Palpatine is something I never knew I needed in my life. But then here we are. Look at what you have made. So,
yes.
I just saw it this last weekend, so I should know the dialogue.
Yeah, another time. That's awesome. I think I was going to try to challenge you to go one more time so we got the same exact amount of viewings, but I just don't think it's worth it.
I don't know, dude. I kind of want to, but it's like, I can't use my AMC free card anymore because it's not like at my local AMC. I'd have to like drive to Grand Rapids, but that's okay. I don't know if that I'm letting you guys know where I live and stuff too, kind of in that like what part of Michigan I live in. So
I can give you his address if anyone really wants to know.
I live at no, it's okay. We'll stop there. But we got some other stuff on the horizon, don't we, Scotty?
Yes. Well, yeah, and we got a couple videos coming soon. We're hoping to have a live stream maybe sometime after Valentine's Day because Jerry and I, we've both got ladies. We both got to make sure they're taken care of on that special day. And we do plan on having a lot more content coming out. In particular, some more short form videos. I got some great things in the work with Eric. Jerry's got some new ideas for some more and everyone really seemed to like the ASMR videos. So Jerry's about to crank the sensitivity up on the mic and really take it to town for the next one.
Yeah, man.
We got a little skit idea coming. So we've got some cool things in the works. Stay tuned for February stuff because we plan on trying to get maybe 2 to 3 videos out a month, just silly new content. So yeah, we got some cool stuff, and we actually have something else I want to bring up too. I don't know how aware of y'all are. This is actually the Bombad fact of the show, by the way, but there's those horrible wildfires. They're still happening on Australia. And recently, I don't remember the name of the company, but a company that makes enamel pins put out a pin that had been sponsored by Ahmad Best. And I don't know. I know I got mine. Jerry, did you end up getting one, or did they sell out?
I did get one, and so it's gonna be a surprise to everybody when it comes because I didn't tell anyone I was getting it. So
yes, perfect.
It is. Let's see here. I'm trying to find the original tweet.
Well, it was on an Etsy page, and as while Jerry gets it pulled up, it's crazy. Ahmad Best sponsored it. It's like signed by him on the back, kinda, and like. His, I guess they print it to the metal. of the actual pin itself, and it's a really cool pin. It's literally Jar Jar. It's that one picture of Ahmad Best where he has the visor of his eyes, and you see the bottom of his chin, and then the top half is Jar Jar. It's an amazing looking design, and the pin itself looks beautiful. So we'll be repping those at our next live stream as well, and I believe they might have sold out, and go support that page. They got a couple other pins. One of them was a Suka pin, and it's got the Jawa ripping yolk out.
Oh, dude,
egg.
see, I didn't even see that. That's amazing.
Yeah. It's hilarious, but yeah, Ahmad Best. Funny enough, this is the fact really of the show. He ended up liking our tweets. Like I was like posting, I had to get this because we're a Jar Jar based podcast, and next time we stream, we're gonna make sure we're both wearing it. And then all of a sudden you see him liking our tweets. And I mean, I don't know if that's some form of approval, but it definitely made me very,
well,
very
it definitely
happy.
means that he likes it and stuff. So
yes,
yeah.
Yes.
The page, Scotty, that posts this is Nerd Matters at Nerd Matters, NERD Nerd MATTERS. So just all lowercase. So go check them out. Go support them in all their stuff. I don't know if they're going to do another fundraiser or something for the wildfires and stuff, but find other ways to support what's going, like just the people who are trying to fight the fires, maybe the people who are affected by the fires and stuff over there in Australia. We got some people over there, some Star Wars fan community over there. And people who are, even we got our buddies Matt and Sean of Blue Bantha Milk Company, who are based out of Australia and stuff. So our thoughts are with you guys and stuff, and hope everything's going well over there. So
totally.
But yeah, no, go seriously support good stuff like that, and let's show people that Star Wars fans aren't just whiny about how blue the Rise of Skywalker is. That we actually enjoy, that we actually are here to do some good.
Support each other, and that was the beauty of that episode we kicked off the year with the positivity and being positive, and our friends in our fandom, and they were both actually featured. So yeah, just if you can find a way to donate and bring love to some charities, especially if it's in regard to Star Wars, something you both can mutually agree on and enjoy, do it. And that Ahmad Best pin was one that was like I had to get it. Like it went live, and I think they're like limited only, so I'm really excited to rep that at Celebration. I plan on wearing that the whole weekend. So, with that being said, you ready to get into the big topic, the big discussion?
Let's do it, man. Let's get into it.
Okay, so recently, must have been within the last 3 or 4 weeks, so many things have came out about the Colin Trevorrow script and story of Duel of the Fates. Okay? Now, with that being said, Jerry and I are both in the boat, that's not the right phrase. We're both in the camp of loving the Rise of Skywalker and really enjoying what we got and discussing the great things we got with that movie.
We're in the boat, we're in the camp, it's a houseboat, we're living there, we're in the neighborhood, like we have set up camp, we love Star Wars. That's it.
Yes. And we have a bunch of people and we have a bunch of people. We know a bunch of people can take this kind of discussion and make it seem like, wow, these guys really wanted this to happen rather than this happen. And that is not the case. We did not get this movie for a reason. And I think the main reason is that Colin Trevorrow could not write Carrie Fisher out of it and find a way to redo it in a sense that would make more sense without her being involved, which is a very difficult thing to do.
Right.
But what we're trying to clear up right now before we even jump into this discussion is we love what we got. It would be cool to get some things we got from this, but it's not what we got, okay? This is the Duel of Fates is pretty much almost like it's fan fiction. And it's this weird, it's one of the only Star Wars products that I think we'll ever get ever again that was like truly something that was leaked. You know what I mean? It was like, this is like, seriously, Colin Trevorrow actually wrote this, and I can't believe that it somehow got out. It is.
If it's, and I mean, it seems. I was going to say if it's legit, but what am I saying? It's as legit as it can be.
Yes. Yeah. And one thing I will preface this as well. every movie is going to have to go through a script change. So the things you think, or the things that were written down in this actual script, probably, and in some cases might have not actually happened when it got to production. So
right.
Everything does sound really nice when you read it. It sounds really appealing to the fans. Gives you a lot of credit for if you watch Clone Wars and stuff. But at the same exact time, I don't know how much of that would have really filtered all the way through to the final product.
Right.
Because, I mean, a lot of that ends up getting lost in translation. And especially if it's not done correctly. I mean, I like Jurassic World. I love those movies, but it's definitely not Star Wars. So I don't
right.
know. It's
well, and those they're just controversial enough to be Star Wars movies, though. Apparently,
true,
because either you love them or you hate them. So yeah.
Well, before we get into it, I want to say one more thing. The Empire Strikes Back script was significantly different than what we got in the movie. For example, Hoth was a literal ice castle. And the Luke Vader thing
let it go,
was not...
Let it go, can't hold it back anymore. Luke Skywalker, like, dancing through Hoth Echo Base as an ice castle.
It was called Echo Base, and it was literally an ice castle. So...
You're like, well, how'd you come up with Echo Base? And Han Solo turns around and goes, Echo, 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 Echo. And then in the background, let it go, let it go, let it go. Can't hold it back.
I like this.
Anymore.
I'm thinking of a shirt idea.
We got to talk about that sometime soon, probably too, Scotty.
Yes.
A little bit of that lead bracket draft. A little bit of that action.
See, that is something that's always been discussed.
Well, and a strange phenomenon with Star Wars films, everyone. We like to pretend that whenever a script like this leaks, is like the travesty that we did not get this film, that this or that how dare you all talk about how some parts of this are cool. Are you not, you know, do you not love what we got? And this is the problem. One thing, since the dawn of Star Wars films, Scotty, there have been drafts and unused scripts. And I mean, for corn's sakes, if you go to your Marvel Comics app or whatever comic store you own, if you own a comic store, good on you. If you go and look for the Star Wars, it's George Lucas's first draft of Star Wars done in a comic form. And I 100% want a version of that done with this.
Yes, of course.
This has been a phenomenon as long as there has been Star Wars. So I guess I don't really understand why everyone is so like, okay, I can't say that because if we're going to say like, why is everyone upset? Then we forget the fact that we, are Star Wars fans and every single inch of this saga, if there's like a little bit of like, this could have happened, we're like, oh my gosh. Like how many people are like, Leonardo DiCaprio should have been Anakin Skywalker,
It's those articles that, not to say they drive me crazy, and I know this is not really on point of the discussion, but like,
right. I'm getting
like
us off a little bit.
Well, no, it plays to the beginning. No, it plays to the beginning of what we started off with. Yeah. It's okay that we didn't get it. It's okay that if you wanted that, if you wanted this, it's great to say that you want it. But in regards to the story itself, this is just fan fiction because what we have now is canon, and that's 100% lore. And if you're a canon person and that's what you're into, then great. And if you don't like canon, you can give a bigger crap less about canon, then you can read this story and enjoy it just as much as I enjoyed reading Pete Fletzer's Phantom Menace book. Okay? Yeah. It's the same exact vein now. Okay? It's Star Wars. It's something I love. It's something I can enjoy. And especially like you said, Jerry, in regards to Lee Brackett's original script, I mean, for The Empire Strikes Back, it was it's something you can still find on the internet and still really enjoy. Right. It has nothing to do with why we should have got this. I hate this. This is annoying. Right. That mentality is unfortunate, but it's a lot of people in this community. So it's a weird way to address it, but
it's the
truth.
Needs to
be said.
Yeah, well, and here's the thing, though. A self-proclaimed canon junkie right here. Like, I love that they kind of hit the reset button because I wasn't able, like, I was a kid who didn't know, like in the 90s, you couldn't just like get an audiobook on your phone. Like I couldn't get an audiobook on my mom's car phone. Like it didn't work that way, guys. Like it just didn't.
Yeah.
I thought we were living in Buck Rogers' future whenever like my mom got a car phone. So like, dude, you know, for me it was the cool like way, and I was listening to some of the novels on like you know, YouTube and stuff like that you know, from the old EU, and then like they kind of Disney hit the quote unquote reset button just so they could like have like this streamline, you know, this is the way we're gonna have a continued narrative now. We're gonna make sure it all kind of fits together as best we can. They're all human, but Scotty, I'm telling you, it's fun to have those what ifs, those where would stories go. And I know there are people who are like, oh, you can't do that with Star Wars because everyone will like moan and complain about it. But maybe a little, but at the same time, I wish we could all look at it as like you Marvel fans have the what if.
Yeah,
I don't think it would be confusing. I don't think it would be because to me, again, a canon junkie, it is fun to look at the what if. It's fun.
Exactly.
It's fun to see, what could have been. Maybe in an alternate universe, this is the movie right now. And that's what the EU can be. That's what these scripts can be. And Scotty, I'm going to predict right now, we're not too far away from the future of Star Wars having like a what if type of series, if in comics or on Disney Plus. I think it's coming. I don't think convinced. It's like I don't think they want to try it. I think it's 100% like we can do this and just play.
Yeah.
And that would be amazing.
If anything, it would be 10 years from now. And it's like, what do we, you know, not to say what do we do next. They already know what's going on next.
Right. Well, you continue your main story. Right.
Foolish. Yeah. But the thing is, when you think back about this script and this leak in general, it's one of those things like I almost couldn't believe it when I first saw it because it seemed like something we never get and we knew existed, you know?
Right.
Like, and it's very obvious a lot of changes are made from pre to post-production because what we got with the first Rogue One trailer, literally like 80% of that entire trailer was nothing we got in the final product of the movie. And the same can be said for Solo possibly, because Solo had some crazy things that were cut and added in because of, you know, the director change and a creative change, and the same exact thing can be said for this movie. So to kick off this real discussion now, how do you feel about the leaks, Jerry? What was that? When you first heard about it and it was like erupting on Twitter over the past 2 or 3 weeks, how did you initially feel about it?
Before I got into any of it, I was like, again, like I just said, I think it's fun to know the what if, but just kind of the way it was getting talked about, I was like, I don't know. I don't want to hear, like, I think the first time I really heard about anything, I was kind of like, okay, that's cool. Then Scotty, you know, like, was it Rule of Two over on Collider? Dropped into the and it actually ended up being their final episode on the podcast, the Jedi Council podcast feed. And I was a little salty. I think I texted you and was like, I can't believe they. Salty. We were both like, I can't believe they did this. Like he kept his own podcast, and it was their last episode, so of course, it's all cool. But it was a discussion on the Duel of Fates script, and at the time I was like, I don't want to listen to I think it was an hour and a half episode. Like, I don't want to listen to an hour and a half of people talking about how this is what we should have gotten, and like this would have been way better than whatever we got. And guys, this is probably going to be my saltiest episode ever, but I refused to listen to that at first. You, Scotty, you told me I told you to listen to it. The part of the Bombad crew here at the Bombadcast Studios. If I may.
I like it.
Oh, man, there's a shirt right there. I'm just kidding. I'm joking, guys. We're not that insane. Or are we? But our buddy Eric Cotterman. Our buddy Eric Cotterman.
He told me to watch it.
Told you. He said, yes. You told me. He said it was pretty cool. And I know how Eric feels about all this stuff. Eric's got a level head on his shoulders. He's a cool guy.
Yes.
He knows film. He knows all this stuff. And he said it was a fun conversation. So, Eric, if you're listening, I went and I listened because of your recommendation from Scotty and stuff.
And so, it was good.
It was, dude, it was fun. It was fun.
It was fun. And it was a good return because whenever I used to listen to Collider, okay, I'm not even going to get into it, actually. Scratch that. I'm not going to get into it. I thought about getting into it, but I'm not going to get into it. It was a good episode. I agree.
Right.
It was. And I liked how they approached it. I kind of wanted to channel that same exact thing when talking about it here because it's important to acknowledge it, but it's also important to acknowledge how it's not what we got, and that's okay. So
right.
Yeah.
Well,
and how did after listening and kind of taking it all in audibly instead of reading the script, which I read the script the night it came out, and I hated it. Like, I'm not trying to be negative, but like some people read scripts. I hate reading. Number one, I don't like reading. Never have.
Same here, man. I'm an audiobook guy.
I don't like it. I'm audiobook, but not even just that. Reading a script, it was a cool read, but I don't visualize scripts as I read them, and that might be something I just that's why I don't connect with reading. But if I can listen to an audiobook, I can literally see it in my head. I can feel the emotion supposed to feel. But like having them kind of go through the main points and the plot points and the sequences for me really helped me enjoy the script more. And if this was a what if episode of something, I would honestly love to watch it over and over again because it had some really cool moments.
There were some great moments. And also shout out to Ken and Joseph over at Force Center because I listened to their breakdown of it as well. I think they kind of went over a little bit of they had a little bit of the one that Duel of the Fates went over, or Duel of the Fates, Rule of Two went over.
Yeah.
And that's going to be hard. But they went with the draft that went in a couple different directions and stuff. So that was interesting. But yeah, they had a good breakdown too. So go check out theirs. And this isn't going to be a breakdown. This is going to be more of our feelings on it. And dude, there was like so much fun stuff in there. Like it was after I got done reading or listening to it. I remember like being so like surprised the whole time, like I can't believe I'm enjoying the heck out of this as much as I am. Yeah. Because like everything they brought up, I was like, oh, that would have been cool. And it's fan servicey, but it didn't seem more fan servicey than what we got in Rise of Skywalker to me, honestly.
Pretty much.
It just was a little more, to me, it felt like there was a little more of, we're going to try to tie the entire saga and stuff together. It felt like there was a little more of not that JJ didn't. I thought JJ did great with that, and I love all the stuff they tied into, especially reading through Pablo's visual dictionary. I get even more little tasty nuggets, which I think I sent you a couple today, Scotty. That were
you did.
Just
you
like
did.
cool,
I have a chance
stuff.
To look at them yet.
Some Acolytes of the Beyond action going on in there, and a mention of Bendu. But anyway, there was. I love this universe. I love all the stuff. Again, Canon Junkie. And I love to see it integrated more and more, which, again, Rise of Skywalker did. But I loved the things that Trevorrow pulled to put in this movie. Namely, do we want to get into the big one, or how do we want to play this, Scotty?
Dude, no. I more than anything, if anyone hasn't read this script yet or listened to it, go check out there's been a ton of podcasters reporting on it.
Just go look up one and go look at it.
We're
Resistance
not going into the. Oh yeah, they did do one with John Roca. We are not getting into the nitty-gritty of every sequence in this. Some things will be discussed. Other things will not be discussed. So if you're looking for what's happening in this script, you'll get a little bit of that here, but you will not get the play-by-play. But Jerry, get into it. I mean, that's fine.
The biggest thing, and the thing that I kind of thought was I would have loved, and I don't think it would have been over anyone's heads at all if they hadn't even watched the Clone Wars, was, and you guys know where I'm going with this, the inclusion of Mortis.
That would have been crazy.
Would have made that so much more, that arc in Clone Wars so much more relevant. I know people are like, it's such a like obscure like Clone Wars arc. It was weird. It was all that, which you guys know, me and Scotty, we love weird Star Wars. I mean, that's just part of it. But the inclusion of Mortis, man, would have given that more impact. The fact that Anakin Skywalker went there, like I don't know, and I can't even really remember everything that happened when they were on Mortis. I don't think obviously the father, son, and daughter were not alive anymore.
They were not alive.
But just that they went there, and we had some concept art leaked of Rey looking at the temple, which was beautiful. And we'll post some of these images Friday. I mean, you've seen them by this time, but we'll post some to our Twitter page.
Well, I want to get into one thing too, and you brought it up very nicely. The fact that they had this concept art leak as well is probably the companion to the script. What made me enjoy the script way more after, seeing the concept art. So it's really weird. It's like the concept art is official. Literally, it has Alsman's name on it. The guy that does Alsman? I don't remember his exact name. But he does all of the concept art. And it's like crazy to see it done and like fully visualize what they wanted to do with it. And like there's a couple of things from the concept art that like may kind of hit it more for home for me. And that most recent leak that came out Saturday was one of those I was like, wow, that is visually it's really cool. But I don't know what it does for the overall theme for just the sequel trilogy itself.
Right.
Like of course, the big debate, I wish Rey was a nobody still. They retcon TLJ, all that nonsense. They don't really address it in this script, but I can agree to you and go to your point. It would have been cool to see more of a throwback of things we're kind of familiar with, Coruscant, Mortis. But what we got was ultimately so new and so refreshing for Star Wars in regards to like Exegol, like a Sith planet.
And it feels more and more like Return of the Jedi. Like the more I watch it, too.
Which
this sequel trilogy kind of mirrored that. It was like almost like a more modern, darker kind of version of the original trilogy. Which you can. I understand the criticisms for that, but I don't know. I really dug that, but it was really cool. That in fact, I don't know if you want to talk about some of the things that we really love. You want to compare and contrast right now, Scott, or whatever.
Yeah,
but like
we can.
One of the things that I did love was the inclusion of some of those like planets we know, especially Coruscant, because that would have. Yeah. That felt like a very real like answer to here's what's going on with the government of the sequel trilogy era, which I think they could have used. Guys, I know we 100% like talk about how we love these films, but we're not blindly loving stuff here. We have criticisms on stuff.
Of course.
I hate that we even have to say that, but it is what it is, and like it would have been cool to see, I think, Coruscant or be like spend a little time. And I kind of liked the idea of was it not Supreme Chancellor, was it, or just Chancellor Hux, like and how that dynamic works, because wasn't Kylo was still Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, right? So he was like over. So it was like he almost gave him the chancellorship of like.
Yes.
To shut him up or something, but I don't know. There were some cool things they did with Hux there. I don't know. It was interesting. At least I didn't hate it.
No, and like you said, the inclusion of a prequel planet like Coruscant would have really showed the state of the galaxy, and we got it. I mean, obviously, the final order was supposed to just take over everything, and that was the goal. But like, we would have gotten, I guess, an epic battle, quote unquote, between the people versus the First Order stormtroopers, which I don't know. I don't know if it would have been near as epic as what we got with them arriving on the ships at Exegol with all the like the visuals. I don't know. That's the thing. You can spend forever just like analyzing what we got versus what we didn't get, and what you like, what you didn't like. But like, there's no point in doing that because you're gonna drive yourself crazy. Yeah. And
well, you can even take the thing about the people fight. If you took like the way it was talked about in the Duel of Fates script and kind of applied that to what we got in Rise of Skywalker and like had a little bit more of like seeing the actual people. I mean, we got it, but like, there's some things in there where I was like, some of my issues with Rise of Skywalker, which aren't many. It was just kind of like the pacing and stuff. Like, and I want a little bit more of like, and we're gonna get it in the novel, I'm sure. But like, where did that fleet come from? The people. I love it showing up, but I wanted more of it. Which is that we want more of everything in Star Wars, right? But anyway, Scotty, what were you going to say though, buddy?
Well, in regards to just like this, I don't know, the moments and things that we like, there's a lot of things that I thought would have been cool. Like you said, the Mortis stuff. The stuff that was utilized is actually very cool too.
Yeah.
Like the life force draining and like Tor Valum. That kind of idea would have been really interesting, and they obviously left it up in the open that if Tor Valum could have been anything, it could have been Plagueis. Now,
right.
I wish it would have just kind of straight out and said it is Plagueis. That would have been amazing.
Right.
So, like, that's one thing I always said when we're doing the Bombad buildup was, like, I really hope they reveal that the entire time Plagueis has been, you know, either in the shadows or Palpatine was influenced by Plagueis or Plagueis was least mentioned. You know, so I think what Trevorrow did was he did a very good job at taking a lot of things that fans might have been saying, you know, or mentioning over the years or important scenes and giving them a lot more credence. But no Palpatine in this one. That was one thing I thought was particularly interesting. I think he's only mentioned once in the script. So
wasn't there like one of those what do you call those? The courier
like
droids or something?
That was it. Yes.
Real canon junkie here, knowing what those things are called. So, yeah. Sentinel, a Sentinel droid.
Yeah, and you know that is one thing that would have been interesting to see, just like a hologram of Palps. But I don't know. I'm ultimately way more satisfied with what we got, and back to the comparing and contrasting. Yeah, there's a lot to be said, in particular about, you know, Trevorrow and the new plants he would have introduced, and maybe the new sequences we would have got. Obviously we would have got more of Rose, which I would have been very, very thankful for. Honestly, that's one thing I can say I wish we could have had a little bit more of, and we might in deleted scenes, but I really wish we would have got more of Rose because I love that character in TLJ.
That was and see that's something that I really was surprised by, was how much from TLJ this took. Not that Rise of Skywalker, again, we don't believe, neither one of us believe that Rise of Skywalker negated or tried to forget or give the middle finger to Last Jedi. You wouldn't have the coolest part of Rey handing off the lightsaber to Kylo through the Force, through their Force connection, if not for the Last Jedi. But the things that they pulled from Last Jedi that he pulled to put in there, like a bigger role for Rose, which I think should have happened 100% in Rise of Skywalker.
Yes.
Again, we love the film, but that's one of the most glaring criticisms in my book. It's just it really
story-wise,
and I don't think it was like them. I don't think it was JJ going, I don't like this character, so I'm gonna cut her out. No, he thanked Rian Johnson for hiring her. I just think that like it was not necessarily the best planning. Maybe they just didn't have good optics on it, and then they didn't realize.
Maybe in post,
they didn't realize like. Well, and like they said, we really don't know, guys. We really don't know.
We don't. Not yet.
What goes on behind the scenes, and they said there were some like things where like some things with the visual effects went wrong they couldn't fix or whatever.
Yeah,
seems really excusey, but at the same time, we're not making films. Most of us.
No.
And so we don't know what it's like. But I don't know. I would have liked more of a bigger thing for Rose. But I also really, Scotty, I want to know what you think about this. I really predicted that Luke was going to be haunting Kylo.
Yes,
after
you did
that.
Say that.
And this is the way they did it here was the way I thought it was going to go, because it's not like you when you first say Luke Skywalker Force Ghost haunting Kylo, it sounds really dumb and sounds like the ghost and like Mr. Chicken and stuff. But the way they did it here, like with Kylo like showing up at that Sith temple or something, or wherever he shows up at the beginning looking for like that artifact or well or something, and like Luke comes in and it's just Kylo can see him and he goes, you know, like basically all that's at the, you know, empty, just like the end of your path if you keep going this way. Like he's like trying to protect him and bring him on. But just the fact of Luke being there, just the way he ended the conversation with Kylo. I love the scene in Last Jedi. You do too. But it's like one of my favorite scenes in Star Wars where Luke is saying, you know, see you around, kid. Like he's saying all the things like, I won't be the last Jedi. And, you know, and at the time, it's like, at the time I wasn't as much of a Bendemptionist slash Reylo person back then. You know,
Yeah.
I kind of came to that before Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah.
But, you know, back then I was like, yeah, tell him, Luke, like, get him. And
Yeah.
like, stick it to him. I thought he was doing that. But it really plays well where it's almost like, no, I really care about you. I'm coming back from beyond to try to pull you
to take
back,
care of you.
to tell you that this is the wrong way, that this is not the way your grandfather would have wanted you to go. And I loved that. So, but yeah, what do you think about all that though?
Well, I would have really enjoyed seeing Force Ghost Luke, and there's that one image in particular where he catches the blade, you know, and Kylo goes to chop him, and Luke, you know,
That's another
it
one of my
makes
favorite parts.
You know, I'm stronger than you'll ever imagine kind of feel, you know, I will be more powerful than you could ever imagine. That would have been a really awesome answer to that. Like, what does that mean? What does death mean to be stronger than you could ever imagine, you know? And there's one thing that I will say too, especially in regards to that moment, would have been cool to get that, but ultimately, I think where the Rise of Skywalker does maybe not even just that a little bit better, but the Rise of Skywalker for me, like, especially in regards to how they handled Luke in the Rise of Skywalker, was way more of a Yoda role, which was awesome, and trust me, that would have been great, but
yeah.
The Rise of Skywalker handled the Kylo Ren and Rey dyad friendship, relationship, I guess, the feud of them so well because it let it develop. Because everyone, it's 100% the case they are the dual protagonists of this whole sequel trilogy. You almost spend as much time as you do with Rey as you do with Kylo. So that's one thing I really enjoy, and the Rise of Skywalker really answered that. And we ultimately get to see a really good redemption story. But for this Duel of Fates, he would have just been a black and white kind of villain, and I don't know if I would have liked that too much. You know?
Yeah, man. Yeah, no. That's one of the things that I really didn't care for was how they really, and again, this is like me, this is what I would have envisioned coming out like of opening night of Last Jedi.
Exactly.
And this is what I was thinking, because we had no idea Palpatine was even going to come back into this. So this is 100% what I would have done. Even with the again, I don't know if I would have been okay with the half-hearted redemption. It seems like a half-hearted redemption at the end, where it's like right as he dies.
Yes, he's like, ugh.
Yeah, it was like a real cop-out, mainly on the character's part. It would have felt like
Rey Solara, whatever her
way
name was.
too, Solana or something, which is it's kind of a neat name. It would have been a cool name, but yeah, I don't know. I love the significance, regardless of how you feel about it, of Rey taking on the moniker of Skywalker and stuff. And it can still be her. That's what she could give all of her adherents the last name Skywalker, or her Order of Jedi could be called the Skywalker. I'm getting really into like speculation territory now, but yeah.
Well, one theme I think will stick with me for the rest of my life. When I left the Rise of Skywalker, all I could think about was the fact that Rey denounces her family name. Like, she denounces the fact that she's a Palpatine to then be a Skywalker is so much more, I think, impactful for what it means to be a Jedi and what it means to be a character, even in a Star Wars, show, that found family. That's kind of absent from this Duel of Fates script. And there was some inclusion of very different things in this Duel of Fates script that I thought would have been pretty wicked awesome, like seeing Obi-Wan, Yoda, and Luke all together on that astral plane moment where it's like, he's, they're in touch with Rey, you managed to find the gray or whatever. They say something along the lines of that, but this is where I'm going to get pretty critical. If you want to see those classic trilogy characters come back, you might as well just watch the classic trilogy. If that makes any sense, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. That's, that's kind of rude.
I loved that. Was no. You're fine, man. Like you're right, because as much as I was thinking there was going to be, we kind of got Force Ghost Party as they were calling it. I think somebody was calling it Force Ghost Party.
Yeah.
But we kind of got it with Rey hearing the voices of the Jedi, which ended up honestly being way better than I loved that, I think, more than if they had all shown up like Harry Potter style and helped her hold the lightsaber.
Exactly. That's what I kept thinking.
It would have felt a lot like that because, I mean, we were already... Exegol. I know everyone's kind of like being a little critical of Exegol right now. I like the way Ken Napsuk looks at it. He says it's almost like Star Wars' version of Mordor. It's like we're in the belly of the beast.
Yeah.
And it 100% is. It's like the hidden planet of the Sith, not the planet of, not the homeworld.
No.
Homeworld is Moraband / Korriban. We know this.
Yeah.
But just like, I don't know, what we got with it being Rey by her own power, but also being encouraged by these voices from the past to go, no, you're doing what you need to do. Stand up, keep going. You got this. You're finally hearing us. You are, and honestly, what it means is she's a Jedi at that point.
Yes.
She is 100% Jedi Knight Rey, Rey Skywalker, if you will. Dude, I don't know. We're just going to end up talking about Rise of Skywalker again because we love it.
Yeah.
But there were some really cool things that they really did pull from TLJ for this.
Yes.
There was a lot of cool tie-ins that they did from the entire saga. The fact that Hux had I kind of liked that Hux had Mace Windu's lightsaber.
Yes.
I thought that was it was interesting. And again, fan servicey, but it would have also been, you wouldn't have had to say anything about it. Mm-mm. We all just would have been like, wait.
That was a purple lightsaber.
He has, that's Mace Windu's.
Yeah.
But anyway, I don't know, man. There's so much. And the concept art is just amazing.
It's wild. And there's something that could be said about this script that would have been really magical, and I think it would have been the fact that Carrie Fisher would be still around, and she would have nailed it, and it was her movie, and it was about her. They would have almost, I think, quite literally, they were going to redo the hologram sequence again, and it dropped a week before she died, and they finished it a week before she died, but
they finished the first draft, right?
I think this is the unfortunate part of life is they had to kind of scrap this because of someone's passing, and I don't think they would have recasting. It would have been interesting. It would have been interesting.
We were all talking about it whenever everything kind of first went down. Unfortunately, and just because your mind wonders whenever something whenever you lose someone integral to something like Carrie was to Star Wars. But Scott, do you think that if Carrie were still with us today, would we have gotten Duel of the Fates instead of Rise of Skywalker?
Yeah, I really do.
I'm kind of there too. I kind of think that this is what we would have gotten.
But I'm glad for other reasons that we not. I'm glad that we got.
No, we're
got,
not. We miss Carrie. All of us miss Carrie every day.
Yes,
but the fact that they were able to do something with her, which I mean, say what you will, they did what they could with what they had, and they tried to do something that honored Carrie's legacy, and I feel like they did.
Oh, 100%. Especially with her passing.
And I think they did something very beautiful with it. And again, your mileage may vary on that, but I don't know. It's tragic the way things went down, but I think we got the best product we could have gotten with that. I don't think recasting would have been. I don't think that would have sat well. I think that would have sat worse with people.
Oh, 100%.
If it's because it would have been I know people were saying who were they saying should replace
Sigourney
Carrie
Weaver,
right at the beginning?
No?
Well, no, not Sigourney Weaver. There was someone else that Academy Award winning actress Meryl Streep. Mm-hmm. People were saying, to me, I would have been sitting there going that's Meryl Streep. That's not Princess Leia.
Exactly. And for a series that prides themselves on having the original actors come back and play a role, besides Alec. Alec Guinness is the only exception because they chose someone younger. Okay. So
Han Solo too, even,
Yeah. Han Solo's not that. Well, I still can't believe they pulled it off. Let's be honest. Like it's still shocking. Like when I look at Solo and I see the poster for it, I have a poster right behind me. When I look at it, I'm like, my God, they did it. So
that's Han Solo.
But they went younger. That's the difference. Is they went younger with it. And like I think going older would have been really weird. You know, like if Carrie had died in the 80s and they would have done Meryl Streep in 2015, that actually wouldn't have been as bad. But since you started it with Carrie Fisher, it's almost like you had to wrap it up with Carrie Fisher.
You need to, for the sake of Carrie, and her family, and the legacy that I mean, my goodness, Carrie's legacy is just as big as Mark and Harrison's. You know, on that, I'd say even probably the biggest now. Like she's just. Carrie was 100%. Just someone. She was someone special, and it's just. I'm gonna start getting sad again. And you know, you've got that wonderful. Princess Leia poster behind you from was it 2016, 2017? 2017 Celebration Orlando, and that is just a beautiful print. And gosh, you know, again, this is turning into like a We Miss Carrie Fisher thing, but that's okay because
but that's part of it.
Carrie's the best, man.
That's why this did
100%. That's why this exists.
There's no way it would. That's the one thing I will say. This script would have happened if she was alive, and since she is not alive, it did not happen. And that's something that Star Wars fans might be bitter about, and they might have to deal with for the rest of their life. And I don't know. I've frankly, like I said at the beginning of this discussion, would have loved to have seen this script. It would have been pretty cool. Now, what I got, I think I actually would have really enjoyed more, but it's how it's executed. It's how it would have been executed. Like I said,
100%,
pre-production and post-production were totally different things. We don't even know if this is a rewritten script. This could literally be the very first draft. And like it's been proven time and time again, that first draft ain't never the draft you're going to get at the end of the movie. And it seemed... Honestly, when I read it, this draft seemed like the movie would have been 5 hours. Like, there's so many crazy things that are happening. Like,
it went all over the place.
Oh, it's wild. And like
the opening sequence, we're getting into like we don't really like we can't really get into like every little bit, but like the opening sequence of them stealing the Star Destroyer from the Kuwait shipyards, was amazing.
Yes,
like,
that would have. I feel like that would have taken like 40 minutes. I don't know.
Oh, dude. It was going to be like a Jabba the Hutt sail bar, like Jabba the Hutt rescuing Han Solo style sequence, which
that's a
45-minute really
sequence.
Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
But still, it was like there was so much in this movie. There was so much. It would have. It's like you could have done 2 movies to end this again. But I'm glad they kept it to the trilogy because I just. I don't know. I dig that now we have the trilogy of trilogies, and they did it. And so, but I have to, Scotty, and I know we're kind of like maybe wrapping it up a little bit here, but I have to say, I am not, and maybe I have to say sorry to our good buddy Scott Gibson because I know Gibby is really kind of a proponent for this. I'm not a big fan of double-bladed lightsaber Rey.
Yeah,
I'm just I think that feels too like gimmicky for like I know they exist in the world and stuff. Of course. Like I love it with Darth Maul and I love it with Pankra. I love that they exist and Jedi can have them.
Yes,
but just I love the hero of the story having more of a. It seems more like a secondary character thing to have like the double bladed and like the hero having the Excalibur, like the one blade, because I don't know. Anyway, I'm not a fan of Rey with the double blade lightsaber. Although I thought it was cool that she integrated the Skywalker saber.
Yes.
With her staff. That was
cool. But I kind of want to go back to the Rey thing too. I don't think this story would have done much for her character, only because at no point does it show her conflict as a person. It just shows that you know she's a good, compassionate person. But it would have made her Return of the Jedi Luke, which is like a reborn Luke, and that was cool for that movie because that character needed it. But I love that Rey progressed and accepted a lot of things in the Rise of Skywalker that, you know, we otherwise wouldn't have gotten, you know, without it. Because Duel of Fates honestly had no point, like, maybe how I read it. That's a different thing. Maybe how I read it. It didn't change your character
we're getting bits and pieces, too.
Yeah.
And first and second drafts are not...
No.
I don't even think it was even a second draft. It was just there's no like, yeah, you're right though. It was kind of like, here's a bunch of cool Star Wars stuff.
Yes, yes, and it was cool, but I don't know. When I think about the sequel trilogy, I think about hearing Rey's theme for the first time and having it in with her with the whole training a whole nother, a group of Jedi, and that was supposed to be the original shot as BB-8 rolling off, and like she's looking at the temple and she's admiring the temple. You know what? As cool as that would have been, I just feel like 15 years from now, we've got Rey and her a Jedi apprentice betrayed her.
Yeah, we're probably going to get like some kind of we're getting sequels to these movies with those new characters.
Yes,
sure.
yes.
They're not going to not do it.
No.
Why would they? There's so much fertile ground to keep going.
Exactly.
This is just basically the whole point of the sequel trilogy was passing the mantle to these characters.
Yes.
100%.
And that was admitted too. How does the next generation deal with the problem of the last?
Yeah.
So
one, I think we're going to get some Ben Solo action in things to come as well, because I don't know, I think they can back up a Brinks truck to Adam Driver's house. And I think he cares about it more than people think.
He definitely does.
I think I'm about to get into my other thing about like how they should have had Force Ghost Kylo with Luke and Leia, although I understand why they did it that way.
Yes.
But yeah, I think we're going to get these characters again, and you've got to. Something I noticed again. I watched just last Friday Rise of Skywalker again, probably for my last time. I don't know yet, but something that I really. That really solidified itself in my mind is I am absolutely in love with the character of Rey, and I think Rey might dethrone just about. I think she dethrones Qui-Gon Jinn as the most Jedi to ever Jedi.
Yep. Now she definitely does.
Because especially, the part that really gets me, Scotty, it's subtle, but I love it. So on Kijimi, whenever they have the first run-in with Zori, and Zori's on the ground, and Rey has the lightsaber out, but then the way she delivers that, the way Daisy delivers that line is pure poetic beautifulness.
I never thought about this.
Like, we really, we could really use your help, please, and stuff. And she goes, "Not that you care, but I think you're okay."
Yeah.
And the way that Rey delivers this line is what really just is so charming and so amazing and so just Jedi. Yeah. She goes, "I care."
Damn.
It's almost like a Luke, or like just think about that's like such a small line, but to me it really hit me so powerfully the last couple times I watched it.
Yeah.
That's like so Jedi, and that's Rey to a T. Rey is the light side incarnate, just about. Mm-hmm. No, she's a Rey of light. Yeah. Rey is the Rey of the light side. Mm-hmm. She and I don't know, that exchange is just so pure and so like compassionate.
Yes.
That's what a Jedi should be. Like I'm ready to do what I need to do if I have to protect my friends, to protect people, to protect the galaxy. But you're not a threat. You're a good person, and I do care that you think I'm okay. I do care.
Well, and this one more. I'm kind of going on a Rey rant now, and I know we need to wrap in a second. But Jerry, this. Like you said, Rise of Skywalker does more for the character, and I think I said that earlier too. But you got to think like the Force healing thing was like definitely utilized in the Duel of Fates script, but how it was utilized and really taken advantage of in this Rise of Skywalker one was the fact that she healed Kylo and healed the snake, and then in turn he sees that healing as a he understands it. He gives all of himself to her for her sacrificing herself for the better of the universe and the galaxy. So like, just the Rise of Skywalker and what Chris Terrio and JJ did was so much more thematic and Jedi and Zen and full of love that I think Colin did with the Rise of Skywalker. I mean, I'm sorry, the Duel of Fates. The Duel of Fates would have been amazingly cool visually, and I will admit I would 100% would have loved to have seen the things that we saw,
Yeah.
And instead of the whole, light speed skipping, although that was cool, but man, it would have been cool to see a Star Destroyer get
especially the Eclipse, which is I think that's like a pull from Legends too.
It is.
No, you're 100% right, Scotty. Like, I don't know, the whole Rise of Skywalker, like Duel of the Fates, it's a very physical, very like, here's a bunch of Star Wars stuff. It's a spiritual and physical movie, but the Rise of Skywalker, the way it ends, and I feel like the reason why some people have maybe some issues with it is it's less of like a physical victory, especially for Kylo, and it's more of a spiritual victory.
Yep.
And if you're not into like, and I'm not trying to like be all like, religious or anything. I'm just saying if you have like if you think about like any religion, Buddhism, whatever, like the goal is like spiritual purity. It's all that like most of these things. It's like if I achieve spiritual purity, I'm going to be able to be a light in this world. And the greatest thing, the greatest gift you can give to someone is to give your life for a friend, for someone you love. And I'll say it, man, Kylo and Rey were more than friends. I know JJ has that weird thing about them being brother-sister, like feeling like brother and sister. But there was romantic tension there, man. They are the Han and Leia couple of this series, and it's tragic. It is tragic. But it's a bittersweet ending. It's and I don't know why I'm monologuing on this, but I just feel the need to say, like,
no, I like it.
Kylo's death is not really a death. It's the victory. He's become more powerful than we could possibly imagine.
Yes.
And he may not get to go on in a physical, like, here I am, we're gonna like look at paint swatches together, Rey. Like plan our next Coruscant apartment. Yeah. But they have like a spiritual connection, and that Rey and Kylo are gonna have a spiritual connection. I don't believe for a second that Kylo is not the same, like in the same plane as like Luke and Leia. Yep. If Leia made it, like that's the reason Leia gave her life for her son, and that was beautiful. And they tied it in where Leia said the end of her Jedi path would end with the death of her son. Yes, that was the end of her Jedi path, and that's why that's so significant. Yes, and she knew, she was like, okay, that was the prediction that happened, and now's the time for it. Yep. And I think I'm believing, Scott. I'm starting to believe that she did kind of force project or use. She died because she was able to like get Han there to talk to him. I think it was from his like memory. I think too, but I think there was a little bit of Leia's force in there, force magic, because she's holding on to Han's metal as she dies, and it really struck me the other night as I watched it like that. Guys, we love Rise of Skywalker. Yeah. There's so much in there. If you just like give it another chance and like just kind of, again, if it's not for you, it's not for you, because we can all dislike a Star Wars movie. Yes. But there's just, I don't know. I don't think you can just 100% say that it doesn't mean anything and there's nothing valuable in there, because there's so much good stuff in there. Mm-hmm. But anyway, soapbox. Put away. Like I'm gonna slide it back underneath my washing machine here. It's collapsible, so it's a shame they put me in the basement again this week. But
yeah, no, it's okay. I know it's only a week, and they feed him popcorn.
It's better than a closet, though. It's better than the Academy Award-winning Adam Driver. So
yes. One thing I will say too before we kind of close this episode out and this whole discussion, Jerry, what you just said was beautiful, because the idea of where Rey, started and began and ended is such a good journey for anyone to even connect with. And I think Duel of Fates wouldn't have given her the arc she deserved. And you can still 100%. Like the Duel of Fates script. Like I said at the beginning, I particularly didn't like it when I read through it the first time. Seeing the visuals helped me out. But I think how they ended the Rise of Skywalker was a much more fitting way for, initially. It was a beautiful. The whole sequel trilogy and the whole saga now to kind of come back to the place where it all started and lay to rest these two objects of such important interest. And it's also kind of cool to think that there's just two Jedi's out, two lightsabers out there that could be passed down millions of years from now. And I think that's something that's really badass.
It's so cool. Yeah. And I'm sorry, Rey is not 100% not staying there. I mean, I love you guys. I love you all. But where are you? I mean, I don't care that the track is named A New Home.
Yeah, I was just thinking
it's for the lightsabers. It's a new home for the lightsabers, man. Alderaan is destroyed. Naboo was Palpatine's home planet. Like, what do you want? It's because it's Star Wars, and that's like it's important to fanboy. I don't know. I'm okay. Oof, salty episode, salty for me a little bit.
I enjoyed it.
Again, you're right, dude. Like, I enjoyed talking about this with you. Like, I really needed to talk about this after I listened to that episode because I had like a crisis of faith and conscience. You know, I was like, do I like this more than Rise of Skywalker? But then I went again. I went and watched it. I've watched it twice. I've watched Rise of Skywalker twice since I've listened and read about this. And you guys heard me monologue, man. I love what we got. And again, it's great to be alive in this wonderful like Star Wars world that we now have a complete saga.
Yep, and hopefully we'll get more information on this as it comes out, and you know, maybe we might have to revisit this in a year from now. Maybe there'll be some sort of material that does release to where it's like they give them the rights to be able to even make it. I don't know. You never know. And and I think it's a kind of exciting future for Star Wars, but what I can tell you is this: I really enjoyed talking to you about this, Jerry, and I kind of worked through my frustrations with this, with both the Rise of Skywalker and this script. So thank you for your time, and thank you for listeners as well.
You're welcome. We should do this weekly.
Yes, we should. This is really kind of cool. We should call it something.
Would you guys like it if we did that? Yeah. Okay, we'll find a name someday. Who knows?
We'll think of a name.
Scotty Jerry Star Wars podcast.
Yeah, maybe.
I like it.
But guys, thank you so much for joining us in this episode. We try to keep it just under an hour this time around, and you know, we went a little bit over. But keep up with us on our Facebook groups. Make sure you know, you are following us on the Twitter. We recently have an Instagram page. We have an
Instagram page. I know you guys have been enjoying probably my videos of me dancing around my kitchen to Fall Out Boy and Weezer.
That was awesome.
So just, you know, I don't know what happens in this crazy brain of mine, but sometimes things just like, you know, happen. But anyway, it's going to be more, there's going to be content on there for like, you know, we're going to promote a bunch of our stuff on there and support other people, things like that. And maybe I'm going to try to talk Scott. You guys tweet at Scott and let him know if you think he should do like a dancing around video.
Oh, here we go.
Stuff to some song. Come on, guys. Let's challenge Scotty, okay?
I'll do it.
Let's hashtag Scotty Kitchen Dance, okay?
Perfect.
Let's see if we can make it happen. I don't know. But no, seriously, this is just so much fun coming here and talking about all this stuff. Let us know what you guys think.
Totally.
About all this stuff. Like, tweet at us. Tweet at the Bombadcast and let us know. But besides all that, you can follow me at the Canon Junkie, Jerry the Canon Junkie on Twitter. I always mess it up.
That was pretty unsure.
I know. I always like stop and go, how exactly? Because I've changed it a couple times. But I'm Jerry the Canon Junkie on Twitter, at the Canon Junkie. You can find us at Bombadcast, just at Bombadcast on Twitter, and on just any other social media. Just type up Bombadcast. We're usually like the second result because no one else like has a name like that.
Nope.
So
it's great.
Cool. But yeah, and then go again, check out our awesome new swag. I just, you know, we just dropped that, Palpatine. I keep wanting to call it Palpatine. The Coruscant Air Taxi Confessions with Sheev.
Yes.
So go check that out. You know, if you guys are enjoying what we're putting out there with that merch and stuff, give us some. Hey, if you got suggestions of something you'd like to see, let us know, man.
100%.
But besides all that, Scotty, where can the good people find you, sir?
You can find me on the Twitter at @TheScottJarrow, and you can make sure to get your enamel pins at that little place, Nerd Matters. So make sure you get your
check them out.
Your stuff there. And just if you haven't had the opportunity to, and you're a fan of this show, and you've been busy, whenever you're done with this episode, make sure you get the Our Friends in Our Fandom episode in your feed, because we are still riding off the high of that, and we're very proud of that episode. And if you want some more positive content in your life, get that. I know this episode was a little bit of a I wouldn't even call it complaining. Honestly, it's just working. You work. It's more of what Joseph Scrimshaw calls
a therapy session.
A therapy session, and it's a kind of working around your thoughts on certain things. So hopefully you got something out of this episode. But anyway, Jerry, what should the wonderful people of this community do? right now, in this moment, this very moment.
Well, right now, at this very moment, the good people out there should go and check out our merch store, follow all our social medias, and all the other good stuff. And you should also, as always, stay Bombad.
Duh. I love the duh. Bombad. Duh.
All Bombad.